Hola amigos acontenautas, les habla Mauro Castañeda de la Peña. Agradezco como siempre el que me sigan en una acontecápsula más de acontecer agropecuario. La palabra sustentabilidad y todo lo que involucra llegó para quedarse. Todos los conceptos que tienen que ver con la producción sustentable marcan hoy pauta para el desarrollo de la industria pecuaria en todo el mundo. La entrevista que tenemos a continuación es nada menos y nada más que con el director a nivel mundial de las mesas globales de sustentabilidad de carne bovina, el doctor Ruarait Petre. Gracias, doctor. Doctor Petre, con más de 10 años en la presidencia, en la dirección de las mesas globales, ¿cuáles considera han sido los cambios, tanto positivos y negativos, si los hay, más importantes en la sustentabilidad de la carne bovina?
Thank you for this opportunity to talk to you. So in terms of the positive changes, what I really have seen is that in many countries, the producers really got behind the idea of sustainability, and the producers are the ones who are driving that agenda, and they've defined in each of their own countries what sustainability looks like. For example, in Mexico or in the United States, Australia, and they have set out to demonstrate that they are making a difference, and they're measuring the things that they're doing. So that's a very big positive thing to me. One of the more negative things is that because of the amount of focus globally on climate and the association that people have made between livestock and climate, there is a lot of confusing information for people who are not part of the beef industry. So, for example, we will see many publications saying that the best thing that you can do for climate is to stop eating meat. Now, I think this is a problem for two reasons. One is it's not the best thing you can do. We need to stop using fossil fuels. And the second thing is it just confuses people. I mean, we need animal source foods for nutrition, and they are a better source of high quality nutrition than many of the alternatives. So when we send consumers a message that livestock is bad, automatically bad for the environment, I think we are doing the livestock sector a disservice, and we're doing the consumers themselves a disservice as well.
¿Cómo se mide el avance en los objetivos que se proponen en las mesas?
It is very complex. So when we started the roundtable, we defined sustainability, and we defined it with a number of principles which cover natural resources, animal health and welfare, food, people and the community, and efficiency and innovation. And we used those, and there are a lot of criteria underneath those principles. So that was our broad-based definition. This is what sustainability contains. In 2021, we released a number of global goals. One of them is on climate, one is on nature positive production, and one is on animal health and welfare. And this year we will release another one on social impact. These goals are 2030 goals, and we are actually collecting data from our national Roundtable members, and we're reporting. So the first year of reporting was last year, and this year in October we will release our sustainability report. So this will really be the first full year of reporting, and we are gathering information about what each of those countries is doing in terms of climate, nature positive production, animal health and welfare, and in the future we will add that one on social impact. So each of the countries has defined in more detail exactly what that means in their context, and they are measuring it in their own country. So we cannot compare directly between Mexico and Canada, for example, because they're measuring slightly different things, but we can give a picture that shows, yes, we're making progress overall, which is the important thing.
Una pregunta que me involucra, al igual que a muchos de los que nos siguen en Acontecer Agropecuario. ¿Cuál es la importancia que tienen los médicos veterinarios en la producción sustentable de carne bovina?
It's very important, and the reason why animal health and welfare are both so important is that they connect to all of the other things. An animal that is sick, or even an animal that is just badly fed, is not going to be producing. So a cow might not get in calf, or a calf might not grow. And if you have cows that are not getting in calf, you're not producing anything useful. So the impact of that is you've got a herd that is creating impact. For example, they continue to produce methane, for example, they continue to take up land, they're consuming grass, but they're not producing anything. And that is very negative in terms of the overall impact. So if we look at the global beef industry and we consider all of the cattle, there are over 1 billion cattle. But there's a big difference between the countries where productivity is high and productivity is low. So if you compare some of the more higher income countries with, let's say, some of the countries in Africa and Asia, you'll see a very big difference in terms of productivity. And although, some people argue, well, productivity is not the only thing about sustainability. That's true. It's not the only thing, but it is very significant. We could produce all of the beef that we do today with far fewer cattle if all of them were being well looked after in terms of health, in terms of welfare, in terms of nutrition. So veterinarians, they have a very important role, making sure that people are using the vaccines that they need to use, making sure that the animal disease is diagnosed correctly, making sure that animals are being looked after properly, that husbandry is good. So I think veterinarians, they're on the front line of making sure that the animals that we do have are productive.
¿Será usted ponente dentro del programa del Congreso Mundial de Buiatría a celebrarse en Cancún en unas pocas semanas? ¿Cuál es el mensaje que quiere dejar a la audiencia integrada por especialistas en producción y sanidad de rumiantes?
For me, the most important message to get across is that the global livestock industry has a big role to play in terms of providing nutrition for people, and that we also have a big role to play in solving some of the big sustainability problems that are facing us. And we hear about them maybe more in Europe and in Australasia and America, but we hear about them all the time. We're told that there are these big problems with climate, with biodiversity and so on, and that one of the big problems is agriculture. Well, I would argue that all industries have things that they can do better. We can all do better. And I know that the livestock industry can produce more with less. And one of the key parts of producing more with less is by making sure that animals have good veterinary care and that we are looking after them as well as we can and that we're managing the resources we use in the best way possible. That's the message. And I think that although we hear a lot of criticism of livestock, actually livestock is a solution to many of the problems.